Okay. It says live on YouTube. It's showing up.
We are up.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Give me a second. Give people a chance to come in here. We've got a live chat. Feel free to join in. Do you guys have video?
I'm seeing it.
Okay.
I actually am.
It says live on YouTube.
Yep.
Does anyone want to drop the link in the chat? Oh wait, no, never mind. It's up here in the top corner. Aha.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make sure you're muted on your end.
I'm not seeing video. Oh, there we go. Now we got video. Okay. Choose play. So sound off. Beautiful. Okay, ready to get started?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I think we've got people joining. There's Petey, and we are live. Beautiful. So Nash, go ahead and lock it on me whenever you're ready. We'll get started.
Oh, absolutely. Just give me 1 second.
I'm getting notifications, which is great. Okay, it does look like the link's working now. Hopefully people are seeing it. There we go. Looks like I'm live. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Are we there? It went quiet. I'm assuming we're there. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the very first Cabin Fever comedy. I am Andrew Nadeau. I'm going to be your host tonight. We have got a great lineup. So for those of you in Chicago, you might know me as the host of Spitfire at IO last Thursday of the month. We are down at the moment because of everything. So we wanted to do something here to keep people entertained because we really wanted to help. And it turns out none of us know how to make vaccines. Not even a little bit. We were terrible. So this was the best we could come up with. It seemed like it'd be a lot of fun. So first I want to introduce one of our producers who's kind of helping me co-host tonight, Nash Flynn. Say hello, Nash.
Hey, everybody.
There? Okay, the video's still locked to me, but Nash is there.
I am here.
Beautiful. One of our comics, you guys are going to keep it unmuted in general so we can hear your response, but if you've got someone walking in or something, feel free to mute it so we don't hear that. Nash, how you doing? What are you working on?
Well, I haven't been doing comedy a super long time, but I really started doing comedy on the internet, which is sort of weird. But I thought to myself, I do comedy just in general. But you know, I don't get a lot of dick pics in real life.
Sure.
So I thought I just joined Twitter really quick to sort of maintain a level of dick pic exposure.
Is that pretty steady now?
Okay, so the problem with equating your self-esteem and value to dick pics is that it becomes a numbers game very quickly.
Sure.
So, you know, I was doing okay at the beginning. It was like a dick pic a day. And I was like, oh, shit, this is great. One day I dropped a video and I got 3 dick pics. And then I went to my Target and there wasn't even a line. So what I'm telling you is that December 6th, 2019 was the best day of my whole life.
That's so much pressure now.
Okay, so then the problem became when the dick pics dried up. I went 6 days without a dick pic. And I was starting to feel really, really depressed about that. But on the 7th day, God didn't rest. He sent me the weirdest dick I've ever seen in my whole life. It was so skinny, but the head was so like big. It was like a mushroom cloud of male anatomy. And I was like, you really don't have to take this shit, Nash. And so I closed my DMs. But the problem with that now is that I have no form of self-validation, so started an online comedy show.
Well, I feel like you found a great alternative. And yeah, I mean, I think that's what we all need in this time is self-esteem, preferably from a system not dick pic reliant, because I'm not getting any. And I hadn't even felt bad about that until now.
I can send you some.
But you know, that's a problem. You know what? I'm good, but thank you so much. One of our comics, we've got some background noise. If you can mute it, if you got someone in the room with you, that'd be great. And I know we've got the image jumping around right now, but it's going to lock on when our comics start, which let me introduce our first comic here. We are so happy to have on Buffy Esslinger. You might know her on Twitter as Miss Sassy_Pants. Same thing on Twitch. She is a Chicago native here and is going to give us a couple great minutes. Buffy, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. The time is all yours.
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be here in my house. I put on a bra today for the first time in weeks, so I'm hoping that every single one of you is worth it because the boobs ain't happy. I know that a lot of us are struggling right now, myself included. I mean, things have gotten so bad. I've started selling my nudes online. And you guys, I did not realize that people would pay so much money to see me put my clothes back on. I should have been doing this months ago. And I get that like some people are having struggles with the whole like 6 feet distance rule. I mean, it's never really been an issue for me. In general, people don't get too close to me. It might be because my favorite snack is an everything bagel with everything cream cheese and that everything seasoning from Trader Joe's sprinkled on top. Or it might be because I don't always remember to wear deodorant. The good news, though, about having been quarantined with my 7-year-old daughter is she keeps me check on these kinds of things, whether it's deodorant or life in general. The other day, she looked at me with her sweet, innocent little face, and she said, "Mom, do you like being single?" I said, "Honey, it is the year 2020. We prefer to be called self-partnered now."
Yeah.
I like that term, though. Self-partnered makes me feel more like I have a choice in the matter. This is my choice. I made it. I mean, it's not a terrible choice. I think I'd be more happy to make it if I had a little bit more support in my life. Like my mom, for instance, love her, but she just wants to see me with my soulmate and less STDs. Just kidding, you guys. My mom doesn't know about my STDs. Why would I tell her about that? She's not the only one, though, that could stand to support me a little bit better with this choice. Even those that are closest to me. The other day, I was talking to my dildo, and I told it, I am self-partnered now. It is you and me against the world. And the weirdest thing happened. It was like it was shaking. Trembling? I don't know. It's weird because that one doesn't even take batteries. But I feel like my time is starting to wrap up. So I feel like I'd like to end this on a positive note. I mean, there's so much going on in the world that I feel like it's important to find that silver lining. And I take great pride in finding the positive things when things go wrong because I have to do it so often. So I've got a couple of things I've learned in my life that I'd like to share with you guys. We'll call them Buffy's hot tips. Hot tip number 1, always wear gloves when you're chopping jalapenos. If you don't, make sure to wash your hands a few times or wait several hours before deciding to take out your Diva cup. Hot tip number 2, and I'll leave you on this. Again, like I said before, always find the positive things in life. So the other day, for instance, I mixed up my toothpaste and my vagina cream. Now you might be saying, Buffy, where's the silver lining there? Well, I've got great news for you, my friends, because my mouth no longer itches and my vagina teeth have never been whiter. Thank you so much. I'm Buffy Esslinger. Make sure to tip your cat, guys. They worked hard tonight. Thank you. Back to you, Andrew.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Buffy. Also, I realize for our comics guys, it's locked on you, so I can't give you the light because you won't be able to see it. So this would be the light, but our comics are just sitting waving. So go ahead and, estimate, time yourself. If you got a timer, feel free to use it. Buffy, thank you so much. That was fantastic. Also, for our audience, please know we have 4 people with mics here. So if you hear 2 people laughing, that is 50% of the audience that really enjoyed the joke. So we are getting good numbers here. I realize we can't recreate the comedy club atmosphere, but we did want to let you guys hear what the other comics are thinking about all this, because honestly, we wanted to see this too, and we really need the attention. That's why we do this, and we're locked up. It's hardest on the comics. I feel like that's something people don't talk about enough. It's a lot about the doctors and the nurses, but there's stuff in here. Let me go ahead and introduce our next comic. I am very excited to have on. He's a good friend of mine. Guys, please help me welcome John Kennedy.
Oh man, thanks.
Yeah.
How's it? How's it going, guys? Yeah. All right. Yeah. My name is John Kennedy. I got a lot of shit for this name growing up. Like a lot of like the people that gave me shit, I don't think they really knew how he died. Cause like I walked into class, it was 3rd grade. I walked into class and a kid went, "Hey, John Kennedy, stay out of the theater." That's the first John Kennedy joke. This was before quarantine joke. I don't know. I got a new job the other day and I wanted to like introduce myself to my boss in like a fun way. So I went, "Hey, my name's John Kennedy, but you can call me JFK." And then she said, "Why? Because you look like him?" I was like, "No, because my name's John Kennedy." And she was like, "I don't see it." See what? What? What are we doing here? It's not a see thing, it's a thing, you know? I don't know. Do you guys think that the driver of JFK's car saw everyone screaming and was like, "Did I hit a squirrel?" All right. I'm glad he liked that joke. It was for him. I don't know who that was. I don't know. I'm a pretty young guy. I'm 20. I'm in college. I joined my college's rugby team last year. That's not good. I was like, everyone on the team was like 6'5" or taller, and then I'm like 5'11", you know, and if they would like throw me in at like the last 30 seconds of the game because I was really bad. And if you were just like walking past the game, you'd be like, "Is that like a Make-A-Wish going on over there?" You know? No, that's okay. Tough crowd. All right. I don't know. All right, here we go. Let's just go into another joke. How's that Burger King? You guys like Burger King?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was there and I saw they had a rule on the side of the menu, and I was at the drive-thru, and the rule said, if we don't ask you for a cookie, or if you want a cookie, then you get one for free, right? Very simple rule. So I started ordering. I was like, all right, let me get this. And he was like, all right, so your total is what? And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, sir, you did not ask me if I wanted a cookie. And then he said, fuck. And I was like, hey man, forget it. It's fine. You know, I'm sorry. And then I heard him like throw his headset on the ground. I was like, please don't shit in my fries. I'm sorry. You know, I didn't even pull up to the window. I drove away. You know, I was like, I'm going to McDonald's, right? Because it's like, how many, you know, how many cookies has this guy given away? You don't yell fuck on the first cookie, right? That's a later cookie debt. He's in cookie debt. That's all I know. All right. All in on a story. All right. This is a story. Me and my friend Paula, we went to New York this summer, and I really wanted to get on the Today Show. You know, you see it all the time. You know, like my mom watched that show, people in the background. And I was like, I want to do that. And I was like, you want to do that with me, Paula? And she was like, what time do you have to wake up? I was like, 6 a.m. She's like, no. I was like, all right, well, we're going. All right. Doesn't matter. We're going. So we show up. Right when you get there, they give you this big button that you put on your shirt, and it said, I was at the Today Show. And you're like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then they bring you back into like, they like take you, and you don't see it when you walk in, but there's like a metal detector. So we like walk through it, and it beeped, and the guy was like, do you have any metal on you? And I was like, I mean, I have this button, you know. Is that the first time this has happened, you know? I feel like this isn't after the metal detector gets, right? So we go through, and we get on. We actually got on TV. Well, we get to make posters, right? So I made a sign that just said, I did it, you know? Like, I did it. I was here, right? Very simple sign. Paula, hers, it was like, I helped him, you know? I helped do it. And we were standing outside holding our signs against the glass, and it was really cool. And we actually got on TV, which was really awesome. But I don't know if you guys know, it was in the news last summer. There were a lot of mass shootings in the news. So if you look back in the archives of the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie's like, it's such a sad day. And there's two people in the background that look pretty thrilled about it. One guy's holding a sign that says, I did it, and fits the description of every mass shooter in America. I was like, my mom called me. She was like, I recorded it. I was like, delete it, you know, like, get rid of it. Burn. She's like, but I invited Carol over. I was like, fucking kill Carol, lady. I don't know. All right, that'll do it for me, guys. Thanks a lot. This was fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much, John Kennedy. You can follow him on Twitter at Frazzle My Gimp. It's for people that aren't comedians. A lot of us have like switches when we think a set isn't going well, and it's so funny to see a set that's actually really good and them start to get in their head because there is no response or feedback here. So I feel terrible for them, but also it makes the show so much funnier for me because I can see them trying to switch in their head.
I was like, wow, that joke bombed. All right.
It was a good joke, John. I really enjoyed it, but there are 4 of us here. You're playing to 4 people.
I get you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah. So our next comic is the owner of that loud laugh you heard. There he is again. He's also my co-host and one of the producers at Spitfire at IO. He's a very funny guy. You can follow him on Twitter at Wenzler Powers. Please help me welcome Wen Powers.
Yay! Hey, thanks everybody. Glad to be here. I'm going to give you a few things about me. First off, I am part Irish. That part is apparently the bottom half of my face. My beard is like an electoral map of Illinois. It's turned out okay, but there's a lot more red in there that I like personally. My dad never grew facial hair when I was growing up. And one time I went away on vacation with like a friend for 2 weeks, and I came back to find out he was a member of the Weasley clan. Like, he got me down and broke down how beards work in this family. Like, he was telling me that we were teen wolves. Another fun thing about me, I have never been to an orgy before, but if it's like any of the other adult parties I've been to recently, someone's going to spend 30 minutes explaining a card game that none of us are interested in. I'm done learning new games. My rule is that if you have to say, trust me, this game's actually a lot of fun 3 times in the explanation of the rules, I'm not going to play. Another fun thing about me, how did my mother react to 9/11? Great question. Really good question. I'm very glad you asked it. By October of 2001, I went to bed every night in a red, white, and blue bedroom with American flag bed sheets, an American flag hanging above the bedroom door, and a giant American flag blanket on my wall with the words, "We will never forget" written on it. If you're wondering what part of New York my family is from, the answer is Memphis, Tennessee. The thing that's always bothered me about that is that my mom only did that to my room, and she has 4 other kids. Meaning out of all of her children, she deems me the one most likely to forget 9/11. So that was a lot of fun for me. But I do love my mom very much. I tease her a little bit. I don't love whoever recently introduced her to Facetune. I don't know if you guys know about this. It's one of those apps that like you use on your photos. It gets rid of like wrinkles and everything. And before she was using on photos of herself, which, you know, is sad. But now she's using on photos of other people like a monster. I found this out because she put up a photo of me from my birthday where it looked like I had died and was replaced with a Precious Moments ceramic angel. I don't know if you guys know what facial smoothing does to facial hair, but I looked like Tim Allen in the Santa Claus 2. I'm really glad we're doing this, guys. This is a lot of fun. It's kind of awkward here right now. You see my wife recently walked in on me having sex with her best friend, which is just an adorable way of saying I was masturbating at the time. I think it's cute. She's my best friend, guys. I love my wife very much. She's taught me a lot of things in life. One of the main things is, did you guys know you're supposed to spend money on haircuts? I had no idea. I was fined every month $12 to Sports Clips for them to ruin my life. And I was okay with that because where else in the world could you watch ESPN on mute? I put money down for a haircut, guys. I looked like I was in better shape after. Like, that's how powerful a haircut can be. Before all this this pandemic stuff happened, my wife was actually traveling a lot, and we got back into sexting in a big bad way. And I don't think we've come up with anything more embarrassing as a group of people than sexting. And I'm not just talking about the pictures, because those are fine. They're bad, but they're fine. Some of before P90X photos, just like front view, side view. I'm not smiling in them. But it's the words that are the most embarrassing part, because here's how every sexting conversation goes. Here's what I do to you. Yeah. And here's what I do to you. Now, does that sound like you're having sex, or does that sound like you're doing improv comedy? You're doing improv comedy right now. The least sexy thing that a person can do, according to my wife. This has given us a chance to do a lot of new things together. Recently, during this quarantine, me and my wife decided to watch porn together for the first time. And I'm not sure if you've ever watched porn with a partner. Starts off great. You get in bed, you open up the laptop, you type in the name of the site. You use that site? I use that site. We are soulmates. And then you get to a home page where there's a search bar, and that's when it goes silent. Looking at her. Looking at that search bar. Looking back at her. At one point I said, fuck, I leaned over and typed the word normal. And she was like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. That night I found out that my wife knows a little Japanese, so that was fun for me. All right, guys, that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Wenzler Powers. Guys, we're going to try to keep this fairly short because I know not that you guys are busy, but it is just hard doing the same thing for an hour right now. So we've got two amazing comics left for you guys. Next one is a friend of mine who's actually one of the first ones to do Spitfire for us until he moved away to a more successful life. So I'm so glad we're able to have him back on this show. Please help me welcome Tyler Snodgrass.
Hello. It's good to be here in my girlfriend's apartment. Well, good evening, everyone. So I guess I should start with this. You've watched the show. Doing stand-up on the internet is kind of scary because normally where the feedback is laughter, on the internet there is only silence, or the feedback comes after the fact in the form of a YouTube comment. And YouTube comments on comedy videos are notoriously mean and usually come from bitter, untalented people. However, comments on YouTube videos of music come from just like really strange, enthusiastic people. And I say this because, well, okay, so one time I played a small role in a country music video. Country music, if you don't know, is like rock music or pop music, except it's for people without black friends. And this music video that I was in, it's a Dierks Bentley music video called I Hold On. You can YouTube it after the show and check it out. And I noticed that there's some really great comments on that video. So I'm just going to look at a random YouTube comment for that music video that I have a very small part in. In between jokes, I'm going to recite one of those comments at random to give myself affirmation throughout the set. Okay? Does that make sense? That's what I'm going to do. All right. All right, here's our first joke. All right, of course, this is a scary time for everybody. And just as a reminder that in case you do get sick and you need to go to the hospital, the first thing you do when you show up at the hospital is fight the sickest person there to show dominance. All right, and let's see a comment. So meaningful and beautiful. All right, okay, joke number 2. Today marks 6 months of me being drug-free because none of my friends have offered me drugs in 6 months. Okay, his voice reminds me of James Hetfield for some reason. All right, okay. During quarantine, my drinking has certainly increased. I'm drinking out of a cup that says "Turnt." Isn't that cute? And I'm drinking all sorts of stuff. Like I'm drinking craft beer, which is just like normal beer that's trying too hard. And I've been drinking light beer too, which is, if you've never had it, is just like bread LaCroix. All right, let's see. My uncle died. This was his favorite song. Okay, that's not a good one. All right. All right, the next joke. Let's just move on. Okay, so I'm not a tall man. You can't tell from this, but I'm not a tall man. I wish I was though, because that would be sick. I wish I was tall. Because here's the thing: sometimes when you're tall, you are mistaken for hot, and that's pretty cool. All right, let's see. It's the miles that make the man. So true. Okay. All right. Sure. Why not? I'm also balding. I don't know if you can tell that. I gave myself, oh, that's a terrible angle. A haircut today, actually, because that's where I'm at. And if you don't know what balding is, it's basically where your face colonizes your head. And, okay. Let's see. Older trucks are a lot cooler than new trucks. All right. Good affirmation. So I grew up religious, and one thing that I remember is that the good book is the Bible's nickname. And it's a funny nickname because it sounds like what you'd actually call the Bible if you'd never read it, but were asked about how you liked it. Like, have you seen this Bible thing? Yeah, good book. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, good. I'll revisit that. I also don't go to church anymore, but it's only because I'm against book clubs on principle. All right, what's the net? Okay, here, conservatism isn't evil. What's so wrong with holding on to the things which define us, which give us meaning, hope, joy, and fulfillment? Moral relativism is ruining this country. All right, I didn't know where that comment was going. I'm sorry about that. All right. Here's another joke. I don't get dead languages. I don't know why we need to learn dead languages, like Latin, etc. If my girl looked like that, I'd hold on in a dang hurricane. And you know what? I hope that you guys have held on to this show, and I hope you all keep holding on. Thanks for having me, and enjoy your last comedian.
Woo! Thank you very much, Tyler Snodgrass. As long as we're here, I'm looking at our YouTube comments right now, and they are surprisingly all positive. Thank you so much for watching, for responding. My favorite one is a series from Brandon Molyneux, who just writes, laughing my ass off, then in quotes, sex, and then in capitals, ha! Which I believe was during Wen's set. So Wen, you killed it with Brandon. Thank you very much. Our final comic is again a good friend of mine. Thank you all so much for doing this. And she was also one of the first people to step up and help us out on Spitfire. Tyler, by the way, you can follow on Twitter at Tyler Snod. Our next comic, you can follow on Twitter at Spees, spelled Spies, _please. Please help me welcome Michelle Spies.
Woo! Buddy, welcome to my apartment. Can I get you anything? I always hope that people don't follow that up because I don't have anything to give. So this is kind of weird. I've never done this before. This is the first time I've ever done a virtual show. This is kind of a rough time in general. I just found out today that Pink is Jewish. Is this a thing that everyone knew? I was scrolling through the headlines and like, first of all, she got coronavirus, which, that's bad for her, but she'll be fine. She's rich. The headline described her as Jewish punk rock or like punk pop star Pink. And I was like, okay, that's never a way I've ever heard her described. Like as a Jew, it's like, it's largely your responsibility to know who all the other good Jews are in entertainment. And like, so you can brag to a Gentile and like really have your moment there and be like, actually, he's Jewish. And it's like, okay, yeah, obviously we knew this. But I did not know this about Pink. I'm very surprised. I remember like, first of all, I had to go to Sunday school, horrible, have never forgiven my parents for it. Never will get that time back. And they made us do like a report on like a famous Jew. And I literally chose Zac Efron, who I believe is like a quarter Jewish. But I just had a lot of pictures of him already, so for normal reasons. And no, okay, I actually was 13, so I feel like that is normal. But yeah, did you guys know that Zac Efron is 25% Jewish? So we're doing really well. Okay, anyway, it's been hard trying to be productive during this time. I feel like a lot of people are going around acting like everything's fine. And it's like, I feel like you're deranged if you're being productive right now. But anyway, that's all to say that I was feeling really bad about it. Like, why aren't I accomplishing anything? And then I sort of reflected and I look back over the past few weeks and it turns out that I have been very productive. I've done a lot of things. I'm going to go through a couple of them. I'm going to read them for you. Okay. So here's what I've done during shelter in place. I trained my cat to completely ignore everything I do or say. I bought a puzzle at Rite Aid, therefore becoming one of those people that I've always wondered about, like, who the fuck is buying puzzles at Rite Aid? The answer is me. I'm that person. I did that. What else? I watched the movie Midsummer, and I know this is gonna make me lose many friends, but it was fucking bullshit, okay? So it was not good. I'm angry. I'm physically, like, my blood pressure is rising as I'm talking about it because that's how much I hated it. And a lot of people are really like, were, blowing their loads over it on Twitter. So I'm very disappointed. I'm very upset. It was so bad. And people are like, oh yeah, like, it's visually beautiful. And I'm like, but I don't care because I don't like what I'm watching. So I don't care how good it was. It's not good. Anyway, feel free to unfollow me if that's how you feel. I took a chemistry class online, which is my way of saying I watched all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad on Netflix in under a week. I tried out a new recipe and it was a huge success. So I am very proud to confirm that if you cut open a pizza roll and dump it onto pasta, it makes a really good sauce. I put on one time. I organized everything in my closet by scent. I tried doing a push-up. Not for me. Not doing it. Not a huge fan. I drew a really good circle. I just did this. I was not tracing. I wasn't looking at a circle. I just remembered what a circle looked like. And then I drew this. I will sell it if anyone's interested. I'll give you my Venmo after this. What else? Oh, I mastered a really good impression of my landlord. So I don't know if you guys like impressions, I'm gonna do it. Okay, so you don't know her, but that I promise was like spot on. Exactly. What else? I supported my community. I supported a community. It's like more like a company. I guess what I'm saying is I bought many, many, many White Claws over the last 2 weeks. I broke my own personal record for least amount of energy expended in a single day. I got a digital library card. I've used it for nothing, but I have one. Yeah, I think overall I've been very productive. I've done a lot of things. So I only have a couple more minutes here. So I'm just going to say, while we're all at home watching anything that's on. Has anyone well, I can't talk to people because there's no audience, but like, have people here seen The Ring? It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
It was a really big part of my childhood personally, because, well, story time, I guess. I mean, this is, if you've seen the movie, this is why it was a big part of childhood. You know, I was made fun of a lot, and the important thing is that I never think about it anymore, and I definitely don't hold grudges against those people and still think of them as mean and assume that they haven't grown up and they're still mean. So anyway, yeah, my 10-year high school reunion is this year. I cannot imagine why I would attend. So, okay, basically here's what The Ring is. If you haven't seen it, it's like there's this tape, and if you watch the tape, you get a phone call saying you're gonna die in 7 days, right? Which like really makes you wonder, what if you don't have a phone? What if you don't have what if you don't have a phone with you? Is there something useful? Because it's fine if you're like given a little like, hey, heads up, 7 days from now, you know more of that, right? But if you don't give the warning, it's like, that's not fair. Like then all of a sudden, you know, the girl from The Ring shows up a week later, and you're like, wait, what the fuck is this? Oh yeah, that tape I watched a week ago. I didn't even remember that. It just was a normal weird tape that I watched, and then nothing happened after that. So anyway, so basically the summary of it is like Naomi Watts is this investigative journalist, and she's trying to find the origin of the story. And it turns out that like this couple who couldn't have a kid adopted a child, and she turned out to be pretty evil inherently, I guess. And it's very interesting because I think that's why they warn you, you know, why closed adoptions are a lot of times like not so successful, because sometimes, you know, most of the time you end up adopting someone who's sort of like an evil spirit chained within human flesh. And, you know, it's really sad, but it actually does happen a lot in, you know, adoption. Anyway, even though it's very traumatizing for me because of, you know, how I look and everything, it is a good movie. I would definitely recommend watching it. I don't know. First I have to say that Amber Tamblyn, peak Amber Tamblyn. Amber, I know you're watching. I just wanted to say, I wish you had had more screen time. Yeah, and so that's what I've been up to, watching things that I've seen a million times, but don't feel bad. And I have to wrap up, but if anyone wants to buy this circle, I will autograph for you, and I will do commissions as well. I can't guarantee that it's going to look this good, but it will be close to this. So that's my time, and thanks for letting me talk to you from my apartment.
Woo!
Michelle Spies, thank you very much. I loved her fancy art poster in the background there. She's one of my favorite comics ever in Chicago, and she was so good she moved to LA. So it was so good to have her on again. Also, just a true story here, because she mentioned Zac Efron at 25% Jewish. So the people in the building across the way have put up like hi and hello signs to communicate, because we're all locked in here, except for one person that put up shalom. And I just love that it's this close to Passover. And they thought, you know what? There's a plague. I don't have lamb's blood. Let's just be safe. So thank you all for participating in this. Thank you for Nash Flynn and Michael Martin for helping put this together. Nash Flynn had the idea, and Michael, of course, stepped up like he always did. We are going to be here every other week, Saturday at 9. Please follow the account, because if we get to 100 people, we can go ahead and make it an official account where we can have a direct link to the name. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We're going to have another one coming up. Thank you for all our participants. I know a first show like this is rough, but you all did fantastic. So everyone have a great night, survive the quarantine, and we will see you soon. Good night.
Awesome.